to Dear Booksplosion episode 2. I'm Christine.
I'm Kat.
Wow. Okay.
I'm Jesse.
And I'm Kat.
And we're Booksplosion, and today we are giving advice live from your emails. So you sent us emails at the word emails, capital R, awesome, at gmail.com, and you can send us emails for our next installment of this if you missed out. We have them here on a doc, and we're going to be giving out some advice today. Don't take it too seriously. Take it with a grain of salt. We're going to have some fun. Feel free to comment in the chat. We'll be trying to watch that too. And it's very exciting. Jesse, do you want to kick us off with a question? Or if you're
Wait. Before we get started, quick reminder that our current book of the month is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. And we actually changed our live show date for this. Quick reminder.
Sorry, my bad.
It was originally going to be August 1st, but YouTube is changing how they do live shows on August 1st. So we wanted to do our live show the day before, just so we didn't have that moment of panic and we don't know how to do live shows anymore. So our live show is next Wednesday at 7 Eastern time, right here on this channel.
So a week from today, join us for the King of Scars live show.
Have you guys finished it yet?
I have not started.
Me neither.
Well, I read the first chapter, and it was really good.
You're winning, Christine.
I know. I mean, I'll definitely be the last to finish it. I mean, usually, I don't know. We're usually all around the same time.
Pick us off with the first one.
Pick us off with a question.
All right, here we go. Dear Kat and Christine and Jesse, I work in retail, and so usually it's pretty quiet and I fold clothes or whatever and I listen to people's conversations. Sometimes they're like, I wonder if this comes in another color, or where do you think the fitting rooms are? Not directed at me, but at their friend. Sometimes I'm like, hi, the fitting room is behind you, and they get surprised and a little embarrassed that I was listening. But if I ignore them, I feel like I'm not doing my job. Should I answer the question of customers that weren't directed at me? And Lightning Thieves, Abby. Thanks for your question, Abby.
Yeah, I think, definitely. And you work there, you have a right to answer their question, even if it wasn't directed at you.
You have a right to eavesdrop. And you're
trying to be helpful.
Yeah. This is kind of like when we're in a bookstore, except it's not really, because we don't work at the bookstore. But it's like we're in the bookstore and there's someone looking at the books and they're like, I don't know if I should read Tepios or what's another book?
Again, but better.
Or Again, but better. Like, I'm looking for something lighthearted. Which one? Like, then I could be like, oh, well, looking for Alaska's gonna make you cry.
Plus, they could just be too afraid to ask you, so they're just like saying out loud, so hopefully you will hear it.
Yeah. I feel like I have done that before. I've asked the question, like, kind of under my breath.
I do that all the time, so.
Like, please answer my question. I feel too awkward asking directly. Kat, do you have a question, Ruta?
Oh, let's find one. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Dear Booksplosion, as an introvert, I'm terrible at making small talk and was wondering if you've got any tips for networking events. This is sort of why I could relate to Shane, since she's such an introvert in the beginning of the book. Sincerely, Anonymous.
Well, I am terrible at networking as well. Networking is like a new kind of small talk. Like, it's not, at least for me, it's more pressure than just being in a group of people that you're supposed to try to make friends with. Are you guys good networkers?
No. I'm a better networker online than in person.
In-person networking is so intimidating. Honestly, I end up just sitting at the table and watching other people network. And maybe, though, sometimes people sit at the table and like talk to you. Rarely. But that's like the only times I've gotten actual networking to happen. they come up to me. I mean, a tip.
I feel like it's best to like come loaded with questions to ask other people.
But like, it's like, who are they? Do you know who you're networking with, or do you just know that this is a networking event? Because then you have to like learn what they do and stuff.
Usually, if you go to a networking event, you know what it's for, though, right?
Well, not all the time. I mean, I feel like when I've been thrown into networking events, I know like during like my film internship in LA, there was just like BU networking event, and I'm just like, I just like sat at a table. I had a name tag and like watched people walk around because I don't know what to talk about. It's different when you're like at, I guess, VidCon or something that's themed.
Yeah, something more themed is a little bit easier.
But even then, sometimes they're like producer people there or people who work for a company, and you have to like kind of learn who you're networking with. Not, you don't know them.
I mean, I think the best tip of networking is to just talk to them about any, like, it doesn't have to be just about like the theme, like what you're networking. Like, just talk to them like they're a person. Like, small talk is definitely hard, but if you come with a couple of topics or like questions that you have in mind, just in general, like ask them what's something that they did recently in work that they're proud of or something. Like, give them something that they can like talk passionately about.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. I think even like what Kat's saying, like a way to even make that easier is just like have one question that you want to ask everyone, so that can like open conversation. And like off the top of my head, I feel like I've done this like with stupid questions like what toothpaste do you use? Like when I'm like interviewing someone, like a go-to rando question to break the ice. But if you have a question like that, except more professional. Like,
and also a question that's more open. Like, don't ask yes or no questions. Ask a question that invites like at least a sentence of a response.
Yeah, like how did you get started in your profession? Like, yeah, people always like to tell their origin stories to strangers. I feel like because it's
and that's usually something that people have down pat. Like at this point, when people are like, "Why did you start BookTube?" I'm like, I have my answer rehearsed. Like I know how to do this.
Yes. Okay. Next question. I'm trying to find one that has. Okay. Dear Booksplosion, my dog Sarge almost never eats his breakfast when he's supposed to. He goes through stages where he eats it immediately or waits until dinner to have 2 meals. How do we get him to eat his breakfast at breakfast? Thanks, Alora. And this is a problem that I've also encountered with Chandler. Like, he always just will leave his breakfast till later, and then I'll like go to give him dinner and he already has a cup of food in there. I'm like, so you're just gonna have 2 cups of food now? Or sometimes we'll only give him like half a cup of dinner because it's like he already has, half a cup extra, so he doesn't have 3 cups of food at once. But I found that in his old age, he goes for the breakfast more. I don't know, he's just more hungry. But also, if you put a little bit of cheese on it, like immediately he'll just eat the rest of it. Once he gets his face in there, he's just eating it and it's gone. So I don't know if your dog likes Parmesan cheese, but just like a sprinkle does the trick for Chandler. It's like, oh, there's flavor now. Gotta devour.
You have to add a little something in there to spice up the meal a little bit.
Yeah. Do you add anything to your dog's breakfast, Jesse?
True.
What?
Things. Lately it's been like chicken stuff.
In the morning for breakfast?
Not in the morning. He doesn't eat in the morning.
Oh, okay.
The dinner time. So.
Cool. Do you have an advice?
What you said was great.
No, I mean, like, do you have a new one?
New question.
What you said was great. Okay. Dear Booksplosion, I need your help. I have been trying to read Tower of Dawn. I kid you not, since the day it came out. Every time I pick it up, I try to read a few pages and I just get ridiculously bored and put it back down. I really don't care for Kale, how dare you, and feel like this is a main reason why I can't get through it. I've been trying to read Kingdom of Ash until I finish TOD, but honestly, now I just need to know, is it possible to read KOA without TOD? Because I want to finish this incredible series, but Tower of Dawn keeps getting in my way.
Who is this from?
They don't have their name.
Okay, anonymous. Hey, anonymous. So, don't read KOA without reading Tower of Dawn. and get yourself the Tower of Dawn audiobook to push yourself the first couple chapters if you need it, because it's so worth it. Us haters of Kale still love it. It makes you like him.
Yeah, we all hesitated reading Tower of Dawn when it first came out because, I mean, I know I just was like, I didn't want to read it was supposed to be like a Kale novella originally, and I was like, I don't want to read a Kale novella. But it is absolutely required reading for the series. Like, there are some major revelations, and also it's just the character development is really, really good. Like, Kale has a great arc, and there are other characters introduced that are amazing. So,
and you won't know those characters.
Yeah, you need to read it. I haven't even read Kingdom of Ash yet, but I know that you need to read Tower first.
Have you read Kingdom of Ash? We're echoing.
What should I do? Should I refresh?
Yeah, who is it?
I think it stopped.
Okay. Who have you read Kingdom of Ash, Jesse, or both of you have?
Yeah, no.
You guys both haven't read Kingdom of Ash?
I'm behind.
1,000 pages.
I know, but like I was super behind when I read it.
It took me a year to read Tower of Dawn. It's going to take me a year to read KOA. So.
It took me a year to read Tower of Dawn as well. And I feel you with the Kale hating, but like it's worth it to get to the like 3 chapters in, because you read the book really for Yelena, which is not her name. It's what's her
name?
What's her name?
Irene.
Irene. Oh yeah, Irene, which is spelled with a Y. It's spelled Urine. I knew it was a Y.
Yelena.
Yelena is the main character from like Magic Study and Poison Study. So that's why that name's in my head. But yeah, so you have to read it and you're gonna like it. Just push through. Get the audiobook, like I said.
I had no hesitations with Tower of Dawn, so.
Like, it just took me like 2 chapters, and I was like, oh, this is great. I liked it. Actually, I had an easier time getting to Tower of Dawn than I had into KOA, because KOA starts with like 2. You literally don't see one of the characters that you love until like 100 pages in. We see from Aedion for 100 years, and I'm like, okay, Aedion, enough. Let me see. Kat, your turn.
Okay. Oh, I saw one. Okay. Dear Booksplosion, I am very shy and none of my close friends go to my school. So whenever I'm alone, I read or write. I do like doing this, but I feel like people are staring and judging me. Also, I feel like they think I'm weird because I'd rather be alone and read and write instead of trying to talk to people. Is it weird that I would rather read and write than try to make more friends? And do you think they are judging me? Thank you, Kayla Marie.
Who wants to take this one?
I do not think they're judging you as much as you think they are.
Oh,
they're still
echoing.
I'll refresh. It might be me.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think they're judging you as much as you think they are, probably.
They're not. You always think people are judging you more than they actually are.
I think you might just be like kind of overthinking the situation. People might be curious as to why you're doing it, but they're not judging you or like thinking weirdly of you.
And even if they are, like, it kind of is the kind of judgment, like, oh my god, look at her reading. That's gonna fall away in a second. It's not enough purchase to grab onto there to like actually say anything mean, you know?
Right.
And also, if you like it, then it's not an insult. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, reading and writing is great, and like it's fine to be an introvert. And I wasn't here for Jesse's full answer, but I might be a little bit repetitive. But one of the biggest lessons that I learned was that about being less self-conscious was that other people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are, as much as you worry they are. Like, so many people are just so more focused on themselves that, you know, you might feel more judged than you actually are. Because I think more people are just like focused so on themselves, and they're probably thinking that they're being judged by everyone. Like, everyone in the room is thinking like everyone is judging me, and no one's judging anyone.
Yeah, like you're paying the most attention to you, and everyone else is kind of just skirting. I remember like the first time when I had study hall in junior year or something was the first time I did, or sophomore year. It was the first time I had like a place where I was by myself. Like I had no friends in that, and I was like, I don't want to just sit here every study hall feeling like lost and like having to like do homework or something. So I started bringing a book and reading at a table by myself. And like for the first like 3 minutes, I felt like I was like burning up because it's like, oh my God, this is so weird. I'm just like alone reading while everyone's like having fun at study hall. But actually it was amazing. And I finished like 3 Dan Brown books at that table by myself.
Nice.
Yeah, and no one cares. Like when it comes down to it, no one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I remember that girl sat on table alone at study hall." Is it worth it though? Started hearing mixed reviews about what? Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is amazing.
There's so many mixed reviews
About
Throne of Glass as a series in general right now. It's like popular to hate it, but it's also popular to love it. So.
Yeah.
You have to decide your opinion for yourself.
Yeah, the thing is, anytime something is popular or people are talking about something, it's going to get popular to hate about it because people like to see people put people down, which is just, you got to read it yourself. It's a fantastic series. It's so much fun, and the characters are just the best.
Yeah. Christine, do you have an advice?
Is it my turn to do one? Okay.
Yes.
Dear Booksplosion, I have a question. Do you put syrup in the fridge or the pantry? I can't decide which is better. Thanks, Lily Doping. Okay. We used to put our syrup in the fridge, and I don't know why my mom did that because it makes it really slow and like goopy. I like it.
I've never
it warms
syrup in the fridge.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Like I feel like my mom did that not knowing.
Right.
Like warm, you want warm syrup.
Yeah, it does seem like something that you could put in the fridge, but I feel like
you definitely can. But I feel like it's better room temperature. You get used to it. It's like ketchup. Like if you get used to it cold, you like it cold. Like I've gotten used to it that way now, and I like it. And I don't like warm ketchup as much, but I still eat it. But like syrup, I remember as a kid liking it cold because I just got used to it that way.
I didn't know that warm ketchup was a thing.
Yeah,
it's not warm ketchup, it's room temperature ketchup.
Room temperature, excuse me.
But it feels like warm. People are saying syrup belongs in the fridge.
Really?
Really?
I've like never heard this before.
I like it outside the fridge. You can definitely have it outside the fridge. Are you guys warm or cold ketchup people?
Room temperature, Christine.
Warm is room temperature.
I at home I have my ketchup in the refrigerator, but I don't know.
Josh said
when I worked at Applebee's, like we don't refrigerate our ketchups there because you don't need to, and like I'm fine with either one.
Someone puts it in the, Joshua puts it in a glass bowl and puts it in the microwave to warm it up. That seems like so much work.
Wait, the syrup?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cold ketchup. A lot of people like cold ketchup. Cold ketchup is good. I'm a fan.
I don't think I would like warm ketchup.
If you get warm ketchup whenever you have it at like a restaurant.
But it's not like warm.
Well, it's not warm, but it's room temperature.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah, this is the longest debate we've had. It is about ketchup. This is intense. Whose turn is it?
It's my turn. All right.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, I have a question about something else. I've seen a debate about room temperature or refrigerator. Do you guys keep your apples in the refrigerator or on the counter?
I don't have apples, so.
I keep mine in the fridge.
Okay. Me too.
Okay, good.
You saw Maureen's tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They taste better out of the fridge.
You guys, I have an issue. So my window just left my computer and flew off to the side, and I can't find you. Where are you? How do I get it back?
I don't know.
Right click on your
okay, wait.
Chrome. Oh, did you find it?
You came back. That was really scary. All my windows were Okay.
All right. The next one.
Next one.
Dear Booksplosion, my mother has read The Infernal Devices and The Dark Artifices, but not The Mortal Instruments. I try to explain to her that she's missing out on so much, but she just won't do it. How do I convince her to complete her Shadowhunter journey? How do I illustrate the necessity of knowing everything about TMI? Should I resort to hypnotism? She doesn't even know Simon and Isabel. Please help. This is from Anonymous.
Well, Anon, I think you have to play the like mom card about like, don't you want to connect with me on these levels so we can in-depth discuss these characters and their emotional development throughout the series? Like, what do you guys think?
Who's your mom's favorite character? Because if it's one, like, use that to tie it in.
Yes.
Because like whoever her favorite character is, they're either gonna be in the other series or their relatives are gonna be in the other series, and like there's gonna be a connection there.
Yeah.
Like when I read the Infernal Devices, I'd only read the first Mortal Instrument book at that point. And then I read that trilogy, fell in love with those characters, and it gave me a whole new appreciation for the Mortal Instruments. And then I read those 6 books.
Yeah. I like Kat said, they really intertwine. So that's another good strategy. Find out who her favorite characters are if you don't know already, and play on those emotions to get her into the other series. Because Magnus is in the other series. There's another person that's very significant that shows up in the other series that you guys know if you finish the Heavenly Fire.
If she's read the Dark Artifices, how could she read that without reading?
Wait, it legitimately says she's read the Dark Artifices?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
There's Infernal Devices and Dark Artifices.
What?
Yeah.
Is TMI good for 12-year-olds? Yeah, you can definitely read TMI. But that's insanity. I can't believe she just skipped to the Dark Artifices. I mean, also you can tell her if she tried to read City of Bones and like she didn't like it because that's like the first book and they're just all get better from there. I mean, like City of Glass is one of the best Cassandra Clare books I think there is, and you have to read the first 2 to get there, and those are fun. And City of Glass is a masterpiece. Whose turn is it? Kat?
Is it my turn? Okay. Dear Booksplosion, so I sort of have a problem. I have fallen and I can't get up. Sorry, bad joke. Anyway, I'm having a debate with my friend about who is the best Marvel hero. I say Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, duh. And she says Iron Man. I need another opinion because her and I need to settle this debate once and for all. No spoilers.
I think this is like going to be a very controversial debate. We're not going to come up with an answer because I'm going to say Iron Man.
Wait, you're going to say what?
I'm saying Iron Man.
Okay.
I don't even want to have this debate. I don't even want to get started.
I mean, like Iron Man is if we're talking this specific Marvel universe,
Right.
like Iron Man brought everyone together, including Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Okay, but is that what makes him the best hero?
Yes, he's also the best and the smartest and the most talented.
I don't know about that.
I
mean, see, I love it's hard to choose a favorite because I love all of them. Like Iron Man is great, Spider-Man is great. I really love Thor because Ragnarok is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love Thor too, but Thor too. I love Thor as well. Thor would just be an annoying, like kind of unself-aware dummy dumb if he hadn't have met Tony, who made fun of him and made him into more of a human person.
I think Spider-Man made Tony into more of a human person.
He did, but because Tony took an interest in him.
Because Spider-Man was good enough to take an interest in.
He was a fatherly instinct. Anyway, I love Spider-Man too, so I'm just saying I think Iron Man's the best.
I also don't feel like this is fair though, because we've seen more of Tony's story than we have of this new Spider-Man story.
100 Spider-Man films. I don't know.
But we're talking about this
Yeah.
face.
All the Spider-Man films are the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like a reboot of like the origin.
So
Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, Tony's been in like every Marvel movie, like all Spider-Man.
Because both Spider-Man and Tony are going to be like the Tonys of like their generation. I feel like Spider-Man is just lined up to be like a Tony. He's smart, but he's younger. You know?
Looking after his father.
He's not. Yeah, he doesn't have all the wisdom that Tony has just from living for so much longer. But yeah, what do you guys think? It'd be cool if we could do a poll, but I don't know how to do that. Like,
I don't know how to do that either.
Okay, it's my turn, right?
yes.
Okay. So, dear Booksplosion, I'm 26 and single and spending way too many weekends and dollars at my friends' weddings and baby showers. How did you find your Juan? I'm looking for some Juan. Struggling with dating apps. XO Katie. So, Katie, I mean, I found Juan on Tinder, and it's about being specific and having a strategy on Tinder. Like, don't swipe right for no one, like just anybody, you know? You can't just swipe right for a pretty face, because especially if that pretty face is attached to a naked torso. Immediate X. Like, you have to have specific things that you look for. If they don't have a bio, it's like, ew, he didn't even try. And if the bio is like gym tan laundry, X, no.
So, Christine, can you share what about Juan's profile made you?
Yeah, well, I don't want like guys to use this the wrong way. Not that I don't think we have a lot of like douche guys sitting in here like, how do I use Tinder to get girls? But I was looking for Harry Potter references. So if they had a Harry Potter reference in their bio,
That's a good point, regardless of Harry Potter reference. Like, look for a reference for something that you're really passionate about and that you're really into. See if they love Marvel movies and you love Marvel movies, then that's something you can talk about.
Yeah, or if like they say something about like what they do, like if it's a creative job and you're a creative person, you're looking for another creative person, like that's something that you guys have in common. Like, look for stuff that you might have in common, I feel like, in that blurb. And it doesn't have to be like really straightforward. It could be like, like a reference or just something there. You're like, oh, we connect on this point. And also, obviously, if you think they're cute in the picture. Yeah, it's also always like suspicious when all they have are group photos. It's like, which one are you? But yeah, so my tip is to be specific when you're using those dating apps, and then also like if you have like a specific like funny opener that you're going to use for a group of people, that's a way to start the conversation, because you don't have to wait for them to message you. I know that's like all of our strategies because it's easier. But like, if you don't want to do that, if you want to be proactive and you have a question, you can judge them on their answers to that question, because that's the only thing you have going here. Like, you don't have to feel bad for it. Like, if they give an answer that like strikes your intrigue, then you keep going, and then maybe you set up like a coffee date. Always during the day. Like, I like to have a time limit on it. So like coffee, and then park in a spot that has a timer. So you only can stay for 2 hours.
There you go.
Yeah. Next.
Okay. Dear Booksplosion, I let my friend borrow a book almost 4 years ago and still haven't gotten it back. Every year I ask about it, and they always say they will find it and give it back. Even a few months ago, they said they had it and would give it to me, but they still haven't. Thank you, Grace. How do we help Grace out here?
How do we help Grace? Grace, save up $10 and order yourself a new book.
Yeah, you're not getting that book back. I hate to break it to you.
If it's been 4 years, it's gone.
Yeah.
They did something to it. They're lying.
I mean, you could give them one last, like, hey, you haven't given this to me for a long time. Like, would it be possible for you to, give it to me by this date or replace it by this date? And then if they don't do it by then for sure, like, it's not happening.
Or you could write them a threatening ransom note and
write them an invoice. Send them an invoice for the price of the book.
I was referencing our video. I was going to say, write them a threatening ransom note and tape it and, and tie it to a chair. Yeah, but no, what Kat said, you can send them an invoice too.
But watch that video, Book Revenge. Good video.
Let's just see. Like, I just don't let people that I know aren't going to be like in my immediate circle ever take a book, because then you really can't get it back.
I don't know. I loaned my sister like 4 books 4 years ago, and I just have never gotten them back. Like, they're in storage, and I'm like, give them to me.
I loaned my mom Twilight, and she loaned it to random friend that she sees once every 10 years. And I never got my original Twilight back. I had to buy a new one, and that Twilight was special to me.
Oh my gosh.
She just did not get it. She was like,
I can't believe she did that knowing that you're a germaphobe and don't like people.
Well, I was like at college too. Like, I gone to college. I came back. I was like, "Where's my Twilight?" And
someone in the comments says request money from them on Venmo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you have the tools to do that on PayPal.
Yeah, do it. Invoice them.
Oh my gosh, she lent her friend a book and she returned it with the cover ripped off. I'm sad to say we're not friends anymore. Corinne, savage. Yeah, go to their place and steal it back.
You steal one of their books and you hold it hostage.
There you go.
Yeah. Whose turn is it?
Take mine.
Okay.
I have one. This is a short one. How do you get over the awkwardness of friends and family watching your channel? Oh boy. You kind of never, I have never gotten over it completely. Like in the beginning, I was very much, I told no one. I worked at Applebee's at the time, and like no one there knew I had a channel. I was never going to tell any of them. I didn't tell my family. Like, nobody knew for a very long time. I had to tell my sister when I finally went to a book signing with her. And I was like, hey, just to let you know, some people might stop me to take a picture with me. And she was like, what? Why? So I had to tell her. But yeah, my family just like teasingly calls me Katie-tastic sometimes. It's just, it happens.
I know I never had this problem. I mean, I never had this like, oh, I'm in secret sort of thing happening. It's like, in the day when I started, if I didn't ask my family to watch my videos, who the fork was gonna watch them? So I was like, guys, subscribe, watch, subscribe, like, rate 5 stars. Like, I had plastered my videos all over like my family areas on like Facebook and stuff. I remember when I ran for King of the Web, I was like, family, please vote for me once a day, every day. For a month. You can vote up to 10 times a day.
It was nice for you though, because like your whole family has been really supportive. Like Olivia and Paul are they're in videos with you, and like your mom is so supportive and like watches all your videos, and that's really nice. Yeah.
I don't know King of the Web till this moment. It was so obnoxious. Was anyone around for King of the Web?
I was around for King of the Web. I remember that.
I remember it, but I don't remember like what it was exactly. Like, did you
It
win
was a
something for
monthly
it?
competition to see if you could get the most votes to be King of the Web.
But you win $20,000 or something. The first round was like $20,000.
Kingsley win it?
And what?
Did Kingsley win it 1 year or 1 month?
Yeah, and like it's not like the big creators like Grace. I feel like won 1 month.
Back in the day.
Yeah. And they had emailed me and been like, Christine, we think you'd be a great contender for King of the Web. You should run. And I was like, oh my God, they think I can be King of the Web? Man. So I did that, and I remember the first day I met my college roommates senior year. I was like, guys, I'm running for this thing. If you could just vote once a day, every day, for the next
So Christine's advice to this question is to go hard in the opposite direction of feeling awkward. And just make everyone you know watch all your things and vote for you in King of the Web.
I just like whatever family members watching that I don't want to watch them watch, I leave the room.
Yes.
Yeah, that is one thing. Even having people who I wanted to watch my videos, like I couldn't be in the room when they were watching it. I had to like be like I had a boyfriend when I started my YouTube channel, and like I wouldn't even let him watch my videos. Like I wouldn't even film them unless he was at work. I was like, you need to be out of the apartment for me to be able to film a video. And I was like, if you watch any of my videos, just never tell me. Like you can, like that's fine, but just I don't want to hear about it.
Jesse, you didn't like tell anyone you made videos.
No, I didn't. I mean, everybody knows now, but like my parents first found out, like I made a video for them, and I was going to China, and I just like Facebook message and sent it to my mom. I was like, here you go. It was like this big announcement video.
I remember watching. I was like, how do his parents not know?
Yeah. So you could go that way and make a big deal out of it.
What was their reaction?
Like to me, literally, like it's inconceivable not to tell people that I like made this cool thing. Watch it. Like,
yeah.
I started off with music videos. Like if no one watches them, what was the point?
I feel like YouTube was a different landscape back then, where it didn't have like some of the negative connotations. Where like these days, if you say you're a YouTuber, people immediately think of like some of the bad behaving YouTubers and like associate you like that. Or if you're a girl who YouTubes, people assume that you make makeup videos or like you only care about beauty stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that was a big complaint of some like early female comedians on YouTube who would be like people don't count me as a comedian. Like they assume I'm a beauty channel when I make sketches. Like what's that about?
Wait, I was like that too. It was like,
I'm thinking like some channels back, like Grace Helbig got stuff like that.
But at that same time, whenever I met people at stuff, they're like, "Oh, are you a beauty guru?" And I'm like, "No, I make comedy videos." Like, channel. I was like making comedy videos all the time. I was so insulted. I remember that Ford Fiesta thing. I met like a lot of like guys at that retreat, and they were like, "Oh, so you're a beauty YouTuber?" And I'm like, "No, like I make comedy videos."
Wait, but Jesse, what was your family's reaction when they finally knew? Like, how long you were keeping the secret?
They were excited about it, actually.
That's cool.
But they were like surprised that it was about books, which is interesting.
See, my family wasn't surprised at all because I used to make videos all the time, like just at home with a camcorder.
Right.
Like, we've talked about this before. Like, we both did this where we tried to like remake Ask Ashley from the
Amanda
Nickelodeon, it's like the what was it called? It's like SNL.
All that.
No, it was it was all that ass.
All that, yeah. So I used to do that, and I had no shame when I was doing this. I would do it with all my family, like in the same room as me. Like I was in the living room, like yelling at the camera, like doing the like calmly reading the question and then screaming the answer. Like making dinner in the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah, no, like kind of like YouTube was like the natural progression, when we were, like, constantly, like, I was always, me and Olivia were always doing shit like that. We did, like, exercise videos pretending to be, like, the leader and, like, made commercials and, like, reenacted scenes from Friends. Like, we did that all the time. So it just kind of naturally was like, why would I be embarrassed? I've been proud of these all my life. Like, Mom, watch my meow, 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 meow commercial we make. But I forget what the question even was. Oh, how do you not embarrassed? Yeah. So I think you should look at it more like an accomplishment. Like, look at this. I'm making videos. Like, I know how to edit. I know, like, try to, like, be proud of what you're doing. Because even if you think that it's like, oh, not the most amazing thing ever, you're still, like, honing these skills that you don't even realize you're doing. When you make videos all the time, you adjust, like, you become better at talking in general because you annoy yourself. Watching yourself for hours editing. You become a better editor.
You learn all your own, like, annoying vocal tics and, like, the things that you do, and then you train yourself to not do that anymore. And I think it can be a little bit jarring because people are often more on when they're on camera. So, you know, it's like you're presenting a different version of yourself. Like, your family, they know you so well. Like, they might have never seen you this way before. But yeah, I really agree with what Christine said. Like, don't think of it as, like, an awkward thing. Like, be proud of it. Like, you're doing something cool. And hopefully your family and friends are supportive of that and not, like, try to bring you down about it.
Yeah. Not to change the topic a little bit here, but, like, so someone was talking about their Enneagram, so I, like, got into the Enneagram thing again, and, like, this is, like, I was reading all, like, the type 3 stuff, and, like, I'm definitely the 3. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yes, I am.
I told you.
I know. Like, you said it, and then Maureen also said it when we were, like, talking about it, and I was like,
you're 3 with a wing 4, but
but like 3, and this is all, like, stuff backing it up. Just, like, now hearing myself talk about it, like, yeah, family, watch this. Look what I did. Tell me I'm doing good and I'm worthwhile.
Also, you're a Leo, which I think contributes to that as well.
What are you guys?
Enneagram?
Yeah, and astrological.
Okay, so I thought I was a 4, but I'm actually a 5.
What's the 5? I don't know about that.
It's the hermit one.
And what does it like say about you?
It's the investigator, the one who likes to do research and who likes being alone. And I'm like, that's me. You know, like, I'll find a topic and I'll spend 4 hours, like, on a research hole, and I don't need to hang out with people. Like, and I'm definitely a type 5.
Are you 5 wing 4?
Yeah. I think so.
Jesse, what are you? Maureen must have made you pick.
I'm 6, but I know nothing about my type, really. I haven't, like, looked into it much.
I feel like I looked into 6. I forget what it is. It's something like...
This is the loyalist, and the one who likes security and who's like...
I'm very skeptical of people. That's one of my things.
Mm-hmm. I have it too. But yeah, I think Haley just said that she was a 6 on something. Yeah.
I definitely, as a 5, I definitely have a lot of 6 traits as well. I think because those tie in nice. Like, I like staying at home, like the security of my apartment and stuff like that. And then I'm an Aquarius.
An Aquarius. I think it's the personality quiz. Just want to let everyone know. It's like a personality thing. There's like 9.
Yeah, it's like there's 9 different types, and like you're a subtype. Just search Enneagram and you can, like, read up on it.
Yeah, it's Leo time right now. Everyone's like, it's Leo time on, like, Twitter. And I was like, is this something people usually say?
Yeah, it's Leo season.
Yeah, like, I've never been like, it's just Leo season. It's my time. Like, people are just
like, that's it. Astrology has, like, sort of had a rise in interest, I feel like, in the last couple of years. Like, I start seeing more people talking about it. But yeah, it's Leo season.
Everyone just, like, 15 people just left the chat to be like, I gotta go take the Enneagram.
I'm a Cancer.
That actually makes so much sense with a type 6.
Really?
Because cancers are also very much about security and like homebodies and
Really? Why do you know all this?
because I'm like
research.
5 and I have researched it extensively.
Makes sense. Anyway, should we take we can probably do like 2 more advices. Is it my turn? I think it might be.
I just did that one.
I remember highlighting one like 100 years ago before I got off topic on Enneagrams. I think we should call this episode like something about like being embarrassed about your YouTube, like how you're something, like that question. You know how John and Hank titled our episodes? We could be like a quote.
Can we call it King of the Web 2019?
No, that's so old. Okay. Dear Booksplosion, I am currently about to be a senior in high school, and I have yet to know what college I want to go to. Do you think it's best to go to a college in my home state and live at home, or go out of state but spend more money for college? Thank you, Grace. So Grace, I think the first thing you have to consider is, what are you going to college for in terms of like a major? Because if you do have a major in mind, it's not like you can go to any college specifically. They have to have that major. And then you gotta like decide, do you want to go to a small or big college, and like all these other things about the college before you like think about the location. Because location's important, but like for me, I knew I wanted to do film, and there were literally only like 5 film schools, like schools that had film on the East Coast. And I wanted to say, like, if you want to stay kind of near your family, like, look in the general area, but I wouldn't limit yourself to in or out of state until kind of what you're looking for. And like, you got to think about like, do you want to be in a small town where like the college is going to be really small, like a high school, or do you want to be like in a city where everything's around you and you can walk? I mean, there's so many other things to consider before you hone in on location.
And even if you are staying in state, you might want to consider if you do want to live at home, or if you want to live on your own, but still close enough to home that it's like, might be a nice middle ground, rather than like, the options are home or the other side of the country where none of my family is. Like staying in state, like a couple hours away of a drive, so you could like still go on the weekends or something. But yeah, I think what Christine said about like major being more important than location is definitely a key thing to consider.
Yeah, and I think, like, personally, I think that college is also about the experience, about being away from like living in your house.
You're learning how to be independent.
Yeah. So if you can, I mean, like Kat was saying, like you can go in state but live on campus instead, and get that experience. Or you can even like on the East, if you're on the East Coast, I don't know what coast you're on, but like it's 2 hours, you can go an hour and a half and be in another state. So you can be out of state and be driving distance from home. So it's all kind of matters on location. If money is a huge issue and like you want, like you budget, you need to stay in state, then like look at their in-state colleges, because there's some that might be a little farther away, and you can live a little like away from home and get like that experience from not being in your like hometown, and it'll be in state. Yeah. Especially in California. There's so many options.
Yeah.
It's freaking huge.
Yeah, you were talking about the East Coast, like you drive 1 or 2 hours and you're in another state, and I'm like, I could drive 9 hours and I'd still be in California.
Yeah, so there's a lot of variables there, so I would consider everything before you make your decision, like home, not home.
Yeah.
All right. Dear Booksplosion, my name is Daniel and my dream is to be a writer. The problem is I'm a perfectionist and I suffer from social anxiety, so if I feel like something is not perfect and that not everyone is going to like this, I will stop doing said thing. It's not realistic, I know, so I wanted to ask you if you have any advice on how to keep writing even if you are afraid of bad reviews. It's from Daniel. Deep sigh.
This is something that I struggle with. And even I know that it's kind of ridiculous to be worried about potential bad reviews when you're working on the first draft, but like sometimes you can't help but feel that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a process, but you just have to like really work on changing your mentality about allowing yourself to suck in this beginning stage. Like you kind of have to reassure yourself, like, I can make it better. Like I can get it to the level I want it to be. Like I just need to keep working on it. And it is discouraging sometimes to be working on something and then like you read it back and you're like, this isn't as good as it should be. But you know, it's part of the learning curve and like getting better and improving as a writer. You're gonna kind of suck at first, even if you wrote a lot in like high school and like you love writing and read a lot and you're passionate about it. Writing a book is a really complicated thing of like juggling character arcs and like complex stories. So you need to be a little forgiving with yourself about your skill level at this beginning stage.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact of the matter is, like, everyone published has bad reviews. Like, everyone's you're never gonna please everyone because everyone has different tastes and different, like, so what matters is when you have your final product is if you love it and you think it's great, then like there is an audience for it because you are not the only person who has those feelings. Like you relate to a lot of people and that audience is going to find it. So it's just something you kind of have to make peace with. And I think it's an ongoing battle, you know, because it's just like being creative. Like you have low days and high days. And just don't like, you're gonna read like the first couple. And like, I feel like you just end up, you can't avoid them, but like, put a hard wall on yourself because like after a while it's just the same shit, you know, like all the reviews. So like just take away all reviews from yourself because good and bad after a while it's the same thing and it just starts to take its toll. Like stop reading what everyone thinks about you. It's like being able to read people's thoughts. Like you don't want that all the time. Like there's this whole thing like right now going around like authors being tagged in negative reviews, like they don't want to be tagged in negative reviews.
It goes around every few months because people get the message. Yeah.
Well, it went out huge because Angie Thomas said something, and of course, like everyone had to like come down on her for saying it. It's like, dude, it's not a big deal and not tag the author. It's just so like
I don't understand the reasoning for that. Like you can use you don't have to like hide your review at all. Like make your negative review, share it publicly, but you don't need to tag the author's actual social media account. Like you can take the book by their name and like type out their name rather than tagging them directly if it's going to be
like virtually screaming in their face.
Yeah. It's one thing for an author to go on Goodreads or Amazon and look at their own reviews, but it's another thing for them to wake up in the morning and be checking social media and like the first thing they see in their feed is, I hated this book, it was terrible. And it's like, oh, cool. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay. I think we can do one more.
One more?
One more? You guys down for one more?
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
Okay. Dear Booksplosion, lately I've been so lazy to read. And honestly, it's not lately. I've been on a reading slump for such a long time that I forgot when did it start. I think it was like 4 months ago or something. I don't know what's the problem. I'm currently not busy and I don't have school. So yeah, I thought the problem was that I can't find the right book. So if you have any good books or advice to get me out of my reading slump, I'm open for suggestions.
Is this just a book recommendation question?
I mean, also we can talk about like dealing with
like,
reading slumps and like what the issue might be.
Okay. What do you guys think?
I mean, for reading slumps, I like to recommend rereading a favorite to just like get you back into that reading mood, or listening to an audiobook. That's kind of a good way to like kind of get re-engaged with storytelling without having to like sit down and make yourself read.
I think like for me personally, like just ride the slump out. I know it's hard like being in this bookish world. Everybody like around you is reading like all the time. So like when you experience a reading slump, it's like, oh, it feels like the worst thing. Like you feel like you have to be reading at all times, but it's okay to take a break from reading. Like just go enjoy some other thing that entertains you for a while, and you'll come back to books eventually.
Yeah, and if you really want to read, like my favorite way to get rid of reading slump is to find whatever your favorite genre is, like a quick, easy read there. So mine is like rom-com, like cutesy. So I like to I've been picking up Christina Lauren books. I already exhausted all my Colleen Hoover books. So I've been picking up Christina Lauren, definitely like Stephanie Perkins. My book's an easy read. Self-promotion, I can't have better. Like something that's quick and easy that you're going to get through in like 5 seconds. That'll just make you excited to pick up something else like it. Yeah, I have a whole video about this, as some people have mentioned in the chat. I always feel so repetitive when it's like a question I've made a whole video about. Like, haven't you watched that obscure video from 5 years ago? How dare you ask this again?
All right, well,
I
think that's it.
This has been our second episode of Booksplosion. If you have questions, please feel free to email us at emails, capital R, I mean, not capital, but like the letter R. Emails are awesome at gmail.com. With any advice questions, we love kind of more like paragraphy, situational stuff rather than like, can you give me advice about college? Like, try to be a little bit more specific. Like, I don't know what food plan to get, like something specific-y about something in your life. Like, my, cat hates bananas and that's all I want to feed it. Like, how do I find something that we both agree on to feed it? Like something. Know why. Also, I go to.
We like comedy a lot. But you don't have to make us laugh, but we like comedy. So.
Oh yeah, if it's like an insignificant issue, we love those questions too because they're always fun. Like it can be either way, and you can sign off with anonymous or like a fake name or a specific sign off like they do on Dear Hank and John, which are always fun. Anything you want, and we love hearing from you.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone who sent in questions for this episode. We do still have a bunch more on our list here.
But we'll definitely need more. So
we'll definitely need more. So keep sending them.
And we'll have another one of these sometime in August.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. I'm Christine.
I'm Kat.
I'm Jesse.
And we'll see you next time. Oh, wait, King of Stars.
Just a reminder, our King of Stars live show will be on Wednesday of next week.
1 week from today at the same time that this show was, right here on this channel. Just come back next Wednesday. It'll be great.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.